Um, I don't know if this works too well in a sheep brain, but sort of be frontal lobe, sort of parietal lobe, occipital lobe, temporal lobe, I guess, over here on the side. But I don't think I'd ever asked that question on a sheep brain. Anyway, so that's the whole brain. So I just kind of get the overview of everything on the whole brain. Now let's look at these sagittal section brains. That's where you get a lot more of the kind of stuff you need to see. All right, so cerebellum, and there's the tree of life. You can see it there, right? All those little branches and things. I mean, I think it's a pretty cool name, right? So tree of life. You can see right at the base of this has gotten a little funky here. Right here at the base of the cerebellum. You can see that. Anyway, there's a little hole kind of gap right there. That's the fourth ventricle, right at the base of the cerebellum. And then this little slit right there is the cerebral aqueduct, right? But we cut it in half, so it doesn't look like much. And as we move up this direction, this bulge right here is the pons. This would be the medulla oblongata, and then this would be the spinal cord. Let's see, what else do we have on this one? Let me look at this one. Does anybody have a scalpel? Or got a knife? Oh. No. Yeah, wait a minute. No, like a knife.
Oh, no.
Okay, well, a pair of scissors will have to do. Oh, here you got a pair. Well, those are funky. Here, I just wanted to cut this thing in half so we could see a little bit more detail. Okay, that'll work. Yeah, it's a little better on this side. Okay, so make a little, not much of a surgeon here, but let me make a little cut like there. Okay, so you can see that there's a sort of an obvious kind of ridge of white-looking matter sort of running. I'm sorry, you can't see it very well, can you? I'm here in a way. Kind of like right along there. It's that right above here, this little white matter right there. That's called the corpus callosum. It's fiber tracts. And you see right here, there's kind of like a real transparent, thin membrane right there, kind of. That's the septum pellucidum, which is like this little curtain that covers over the lateral ventricle. So let's poke through it. So if we poke through this thing and break it, you can see there's a space back in here. That's one of the lateral ventricles. The septum pellucidum kind of seals over it. So anyway, so right back in there is one of the lateral ventricles. So that's pretty easy. This sort of round area right here that I'm outlining with my probe, right there, this area right there, that's the thalamus, right there. And that would be the center of the thalamus right there. So that's the thalamus. The hypothalamus is just this area sort of in front of it. It's not a distinct area. The pineal gland, oh, there you can see it. It's right. It didn't get cut very well, but this little thing I'm popping up right there is the pineal gland. There. And just a couple of other features. The corpora quadgemina, the superior and inferior colliculus. And let's see, what are we going to use? We'll use this one. That one, it doesn't show it too well, but this one shows it pretty well. The sagittal section. So let's review here. So this one, you can really see the septum pellucidum has been torn. This is the corpus callosum. If we pull this back, we're looking into the lateral ventricle. This area right here is the thalamus, right around in here. The area down here in front of it, sort of right above the optic nerve, is the hypothalamus. The pineal gland kind of got cut a little bit, but it's right there. That's the pineal gland. And the cerebellum, the arbor vitae, but you can see there's this kind of, I don't know, mound of neural tissue right here. And it's kind of got, if we pull this back, maybe you can see it a little better. It's sort of got, I'll just break this. It's sort of got two steps to it, like a little area up here and a little area down there. And there's the others on the other side as well. So it's got like four, like two on each side. That's why they call it the corpora quadgemina. The area above it, this top area is called the superior colliculus. The area below it is called the inferior colliculus. And maybe Oh, you can see it here. Oh, here we go. You can see it here pretty well. For those of you who are filming, I'm trying to get my finger out of the way. My nose is running. See this whole thing here is called the corpora quadgemina. These top two big bulbs here are called the superior colliculi, and these two bottom ones down here, you can see there's kind of a separation right there. These are the inferior colliculi. So if you were to slice this thing right through there, that's the superior colliculus, that's the inferior colliculus. Okay? And they're part of the visual and auditory system. So, oh, the third ventricle. The third ventricle, that's the one that's kind of hard to describe to you guys. So this is the thalamus, and well, I'm not sure where we pulled it away. And this is the thalamus over there. But if we pull these two things together, so here, let's do it this way. So my right hand is one wall is the thalamus, and my left hand is the thalamus, and we put the brain together, and it looks like this. So my thalamuses here have a space in between. That space in between is the third ventricle. So the third ventricle is formed by the walls of the thalamus. So when we cut it, it's like, oh, where'd the third ventricle go? It's gone, because you kind of sliced right through it. So here's the thalamus, there's the thalamus. The space in between when they were together was the third ventricle. So a little difficult to say, well, what's that? It's the thalamus. Oh, no, that's wrong. That's the third ventricle. No, it's not. It's the thalamus. The space formed between the walls of the thalamus was the third ventricle. There is a way to demonstrate that. I'll do it one of these nights, where instead of cutting the brain this way, you cut it like this way. And so the thalamus kind of appears sequentially, or the ventricles kind of appear sequentially, and you can see the third ventricle pretty easily that way. There actually might be some in the bucket in there, and I haven't seen them. So that really is pretty much it for the sheep brain. I don't know how many things are on